So I did the whole Eagle Scout thing growing up, but it was really interesting because I came from a mom. Our dad had passed away, and we had a bunch of kids. So the gear that we had was terrible. So we went up skiing, and I'd have like my Levi shorts on or my Levi pants on. It's like everything was done wrong. Right?
I did that. Yes.
But yeah, it became like really like important gears. And my wife will talk about this all the time. Like she's like, you always have to get the best of the best. Because like I didn't have any of that growing up.
Yep.
And if you have bad gear, especially in camping, it's just miserable.
It's all about the gear. And so I remember those experiences every time we make something.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's about the experience. If somebody wakes up the next morning and they're talking about their gear, usually it's not good. But if they're talking about how much fun they had around the campfire or the stars, what a good sleep they had, what they're looking forward to that next day, that's a good sign that the gear worked.
So where are you originally from?
I was born in Missouri.
Born in Missouri. Where?
Kansas City.
Oh, Kansas City.
Yeah.
Oh,
Go
interesting.
Chiefs.
Are you Utah too?
I am.
Kenna?
Yep, North
Where?
Ogden.
North Ogden.
Utah, born and raised.
Oh, wow. Good for
Live
you.
in Salt Lake now.
Oh, right.
But I've always loved recreating in the outdoors. There's a big reason why I wanted to do this podcast with you, is because I'm very intrigued by your brand.
Oh, yeah.
And the way that you intersect affordability and quality is very interesting to me. So
Yeah.
How is Utah Business Magazine doing?
it's going great.
So we were just talking about how you have the deadlines going on every month, which is
Same deadlines every month. Can you believe it?
No summer breaks. It's the worst.
Yeah, that's what it's like to have a monthly magazine. I'm very excited. We actually are doing a November local gift guide. So Teton's going to be included. We've got a bunch of other great brands
Good for you.
and their products. So
We got
be
some
on the
good
lookout
brands
for
in
that.
Utah.
Oh,
A
yeah.
lot
Very
of 'em.
giftable.
Really
too.
good companies here.
Yeah. How did you get into owning your own brand and everything else? I want to hear the origin.
Yeah, okay. So I, like so many other people that are in business, saw an opportunity.
Yeah.
I actually worked in the industry, worked for a company that one of their divisions was camping gear. And I started taking notes. I'm a note taker. I carry a notebook around with me, and usually do it to remember things because I'm so forgetful. And I'll put my to-dos, that I got to get done, and then I cross them out. And it feels good to cross them out. But when I was younger, I'd also see some things that just didn't sit right with me, and so I started a to-don't list. And this is before to-don't list became a thing.
Oh, yeah.
So I'd turn to the back of the book and I'd write my to-don'ts. If I was ever in business, I wouldn't do this. And I'd see things that, little kid like me, I was in my 20s, it just didn't seem right. But, who was I to really say anything?
Yeah. Just starting out.
But this to-don't list became really important to me, and when the company I was working for eventually went out of business, it started with them being opportunists, right? Saying yes to too many things.
Yeah.
And camping gear was one of their 7 different things they focused on, which meant they focused on nothing.
Trying to be everything to everyone.
That's right. And they hadn't learned the power of the word no. And so that was in the back of my book. Don't be an opportunist.
Oh, interesting.
Don't chase the shiny object because there's so many of them.
Yeah.
Well, in the process of working for them, I established some really good relationships overseas and some really good relationships here domestically with retailers. And so when they started missing or started paying vendors late, factories late, then of course shipments started being held up at port because they couldn't get documents to clear customs. They were being held up by lack of payment, which meant we were delivering the product late to the customer. And so I was hearing it on the factory side. Hey, Scott, why are you guys always paying us late? And I'd hear on the customer side, hey, Scott, why are you guys always delivering late?
Wow.
And I knew the answer. It was because we're taking money from this business and applying it to the other 6 divisions that might need money. Anyway, paying late led to missing payments altogether, led to missing payroll, and pretty soon this company's on the verge of being out of business.
Oh, wow.
And, you miss payroll, that's a kiss of death.
Oh, yeah.
I remember sitting down with Dale Smith. he's a legend in my eyes. He was the president of Sportsman's Warehouse at the time.
Oh.
His father-in-law started the business. Anyway, I was sitting down with Dale. He's not only was he the president of Sportsman's Warehouse, he was also the camping buyer.
Oh, wow.
Because he loved camping.
He just loved doing it.
And he loved that job. So he's like, have you ever thought about just doing this yourself? And about the same week, one of my main factories overseas in China, Taiwanese guy, but had a factory in China, said the same thing. Hey, Scott, have you ever thought about doing this yourself? And it was the second person that asked me that made me think, gosh, why are they thinking this about me?
Yeah, what are they seeing together?
Because I'm not thinking this about me.
Yeah.
My wife's not thinking this about me.
Oh, wow.
But these two guys are thinking this about me. So maybe there's something here.
Maybe there's a natural fit there. Yeah.
I thought, I've got the factory, I've got the customer. What more do I need, right?
Yeah.
So I need a brand. So I go back to Dale and I'm like, Dale, if I do this, what's my brand going to be? And we brainstormed together.
Really?
Yeah. And
You
I
helped
had
input on creating it.
I had an employee, a friend that was super good at IT, and I think between the three of us, found that the URL for Teton Sports was available.
Oh, cool.
Teton Gear was available. Teton.com was not available, but if we had a name after Teton,
That's
we
a
could
big
get the URL.
name. Now you would never get something like that.
You'd never get it.
It'd be like
Yeah.
Teton.zyw.
Yeah. This was back in 2005, so we just got lucky in that sense.
Yeah.
And I started out, my to-don't list had a lot more things on it then than it does now. For example, I had watched this crazy experience this previous business had with inventory and saw the ups and downs of inventory, and inventory management was just difficult. And so I said, don't have inventory. That was on my to-don't list, right? Here I am, a product business. Don't have inventory.
Yeah.
Another one was, don't have employees because you're not a very good manager. All these things.
Restrictions
This
going
don't
on.
list is pretty extensive.
It was so restrictive. So honestly, when I started the business, I said to Dale, I'm like, Dale, I don't have a warehouse and I don't have employees. So if we do this, I'm filling containers at the factory and I'm delivering that container directly to your warehouse, not mine.
Yeah.
No problem.
That's awesome.
And so for 2 years, that was my business model.
Smart.
Smart with an asterisk. And that is, what I've learned is even the best forecasters can't predict what the consumer's going to do.
Yeah, that's true.
And so what would happen, because there's so much lead time needed for production at these factories overseas, that if he oversold his inventory and now his shelves were going to be empty, at least from the Teton brand, he would have to fill them up with a different brand because I didn't have an option domestically.
Right. That's right.
And he was waiting another month for that next container to arrive. And so he was in and out and in and out and in and out of inventory.
Yeah, what a headache. Yeah.
And after about 2 years, and I'm learning about business along the way, and I'm reading a lot of books, but just super interested in business books.
The stakes are high and needs are more complex when running an established consumer products brand. You've got mounting pressures across multi-channel sales, complex supply chains, inventory across multiple warehouses, and leadership needs fast, accurate data to make decisions. That's why leading brands partner with Baker Tilly, an accounting firm that specializes in the consumer product space. Their team understands the unique challenges of scaling product-based businesses. Whether it's navigating transactions confidently, sales tax compliance, integrating ERP systems like NetSuite, or predictive analytics, Baker Tilly delivers. Discover how Baker Tilly's industry-focused services can help elevate your business. Visit bakertilly.com.
Both the written and now Audible, just constantly reading things to learn. And by the way, I never graduated college, so I always had this need to learn without the certificate.
Yeah.
That tells me how smart I am. I just
Just
never,
did it.
I just had to learn. So I learned a lot about inventory management. I learned a lot about managing employees. And after a couple of years, I decided that I needed to add another business model to the mix. instead of this FOB Asia business model, I needed to have a domestic price. After I'd already cleared customs, after I'd already paid shipping, after I'd already paid for the warehouse. And so I offered that second business model to Dale. And so when the FOB model, which is the primary model, ran out of inventory, because again, we can't forecast perfectly, then he could always fill in with domestic inventory. And so that led me to, having a local warehouse.
Oh, interesting.
And eventually it led me to actually buying a building. So I have my own building in Salt Lake now.
So what SKUs did you start out with when you first went into Sportsman's?
There were three main lines of product.
Okay.
So SKUs around a cot that I had patented.
Which I love. This is one thing that I love about Teton and meeting you and talking to you, and is I would say between you and Ryan, the CEO of Little Giant Ladders, are probably the most innovative people on just really detail oriented on little fixes on the products that make the products much better.
Yeah.
And so you start off with the cot one, which is, and by the way, it's a brilliant concept, the patented.
You know why?
Yeah.
This is not me being innovative. This is me listening.
Yeah. Oh, interesting.
You know what I mean? It was what do people complain about?
Yeah.
You just heard it a minute ago. A gentleman we were talking to said, I can't fit on a cot. My shoulders, he's a big guy, my shoulders hit the rails.
Yep. So
We heard that. And so
let's do a bigger
the
cot.
initial thing is, well, okay, let's make a bigger cot.
Yeah.
The problem is when you take these X legs like this and you expand them this way, it's not stable.
Yeah.
And so we harken back to our engineering days in high school,
Yeah.
where you'd build these bridges.
Oh, yeah,
and
that's
they
right.
and they'd put weight on it to see
Yeah.
which one would win. And so that became a patentable idea. Instead of these legs being an X leg, the legs became an S leg.
Smart.
Patentable. And now we're able to get 1,200 pounds on this cot, even though it's 40 inches wide.
The part of your cot, and I wish we could demo it right now, which is so interesting, is getting that last piece in. Tell me, how did that come about?
Okay, so great question. So we make this 40-inch wide cot.
Yeah.
But initially, a regular cot, 40 inches wide, would just kind of sag in the middle.
Yeah.
So we had to make the fabric extra taut, which made the fourth corner nearly impossible for the average human to get on.
You can't physically do it.
Yeah, I learned a technique, but it required both hands and a foot, right? And you
Can't really demo that with your customers.
Yeah, you can't really expect people to do that. So I said, okay, now what's the next problem to solve? And it was that fourth corner, that pivot arm.
Yeah. Yep.
Another patentable, innovative feature.
Yeah.
So we heard complaints that fourth corner's too hard to put on. Invented this pivot arm, and by the way, not only do I listen to customer feedback, but I take the problem to I like to collaborate.
Yeah.
And so one of the factories the founder was an engineer at heart. And so I took the problem to him. And engineers are brilliant.
Oh, yeah, they are.
Oh, they're so fun to talk to when it comes to product. And we brainstormed together and came up with this pivot arm, and he demoed it within a couple days, and it was spot on.
A couple months back, I demoed some of your products on Good Things Utah, and it was so fun just to show the boys. And I showed it live where we had a single tent on top of a cot, and they wanted to see and demonstrate how quickly you could tear down the tent. Because growing up, taking down a tent was a really big deal.
Such a pain.
It took forever, right? And then there's that, and the other issue was always trying to be able to stuff my sleeping bag into the original case for it. It was always seemed impossible.
Right.
But it was so cool. It taught me that all you have to do is just kind of knock one of these arms, and the whole thing collapses, and then it folds in on itself, and it can literally do that in 2 seconds. Yeah. But how did you come up with that concept?
So two things.
Pulling it up as well is just so quick and easy.
That idea we didn't invent. One of our factories that we do a lot of business with had a feature like that.
Yeah.
What we did is two things. One is you don't. Kids, when they camp in scout camp, especially boys, I don't think girls would do this, but boys, they're
They're devious.
Yeah, they get in trouble, right? Or they cause
Girls
trouble.
would never do that.
Girls don't
Never.
do that. So they'd walk by and they'd
Whack it.
whack that thing down just because it takes a little bit of pressure and all
And
of a
then
sudden
the
that thing
tent's
collapses.
collapsing on the kid. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if the sample we gave you had the locking feature
did.
or not. It did. Okay.
Yeah.
That locking feature is a result of that issue.
Yeah, you're like, we got to save these boys, these scout
Yeah.
leaders from getting
Boys,
the tent from falling on
boys
them.
are opportunists, right? And so
Oh,
if you
yeah.
just take away the opportunity, they would stop collapsing tents.
Oh, yeah.
So that's how that came along. And then
That was
of
another
course
good one.
we sized it to fit on top of a cot, or I think in the case of the sample you have,
Yeah.
it fits on 2 cots.
That's right.
So you butt up 2 cots side by side, which required us to make one of the end rails. Well, the end rails on one side shorter, so that when you butt them together, they actually get closer together. You have less space because normally end rails are, maybe
yeah.
3 or 4 inches.
Oh, yeah.
Past the side rail. You'll notice that one of them is like 1.5 inches past the side rail.
Oh, interesting.
That's so you can butt 2 together.
Oh, cool.
And then that tent that you have fits on top.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's super. So now how many total SKUs do you have?
Oh, in the 2 to the high 2s, almost 300 range.
And that's really kind of the big question, because it's like that we were just talking about, you had a company that had so many different products, and then when you get in too high of a SKU count, then all of a sudden you have to purchase all the inventory
Yeah.
with different colors and
Yeah.
everything else. That's a difficult balancing act.
Yeah.
So what's kind of like Teton? What is Teton known for the most with all of your customers?
Well, back to the question a minute ago is what are the things? What are the 3 things that we started with, or
Yeah.
what are the things we started with? It was really 3 lines
Okay.
of product. It was the cot line, it was sleeping bags,
Yep.
and it was backpacks. And with Cabela's, initially, we were solely making it for them under the Cabela's brand. So you'd go into Cabela's, you'd see the Cabela's brand, you never knew that we made it,
Yeah.
but yet it was our patent,
Yeah,
right?
labeled,
And
yeah.
they just sold tonnage of that cot. And they liked their own brand. But Sportsman's Warehouse, very supportive of brands. They carried our full line of sleeping bags
Yeah.
and the cot in the Teton brand, and backpacks.
Wow.
And then Amazon was this up and coming thing
Mm-hmm.
that started to do more than just books and CDs. And we were one of the first to participate in the everything concept.
Wow.
And so if you look at our business on Amazon, you'd be surprised at just how many SKUs we have with literally thousands, sometimes tens of thousands of reviews, high 4-star rankings.
It's really cool.
So that's kind of how we got started and built a name. Since then, you can expand any number of ways. You can expand by adding more stores,
Yeah.
which we want to do. That requires willingness to travel. It requires willingness to do trade shows. But trade shows were on my to-don't list
Yeah.
because
Mine too.
I'm not a dog and pony guy, right?
Yeah.
But eventually, once I had figured out how to manage better, I hired some of the right people. So of late, we've been doing trade shows
can
and
do
having a lot of success.
Yeah.
I think you've met JP.
Oh, JP's awesome.
He's incredible.
And I think that's when you're a good CEO, I think you hire people that are really passionate
Yeah.
about your product category.
Yeah.
And JP is just that part, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he lives it every day.
Yeah, and he's been with me for several years now, and then more recently Jeremy.
Yeah.
You've probably met Jeremy as well,
I don't know that I met Jeremy.
haven't you? Okay,
Yeah.
Jeremy McLaren,
Mm.
and he's our marketing VP, and those two tag team so well.
That is so cool.
And so we're starting to get a lot more brick and mortar retailers as a result of their efforts. That's one way to grow. Another way to grow is to expand your catalog and just offer more to your existing clients. We do that. And then the other way we were discussing earlier off mic is international. And
That's
so
right.
we've been having some international growth of late. So those are still 3 opportunities that we can expand on.
Outdoor is such an interesting space. It rivals health, beauty, wellness for probably the top type of products that need substantial amounts of imagery. Like the marketing side is super important.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about your strategy there on the marketing side and differentiating yourself
Yeah.
from your competitors, and how do you interact with customers?
And just a note too, I hope everybody listening goes and watches the commercial for the cot that you showed us
On
before
YouTube?
we started rolling of a grizzly bear jumping up and down on that.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
You've got some really incredible promotional material. So
Yeah, so the philosophy with that is, as shopping online became more and more of a thing, the one thing that it didn't allow you to do is touch and feel the product, and then go to the side of the product and see what it looked like from the side,
Yeah.
and then go inside the product and see what it felt like and looked like from the inside. And so my approach was, how can we best mimic that experience but virtually?
Yeah.
It means really, really good images
It
from
does.
all angles, and it means good video. And not video that's so long that people get bored with it, but give options in
Yeah.
terms of length. And so that'd be my recommendation for anybody who's trying to sell online: is don't skimp on your imagery and don't skimp on your video. Just do it top notch. Hire the right people to do it right, and you can see that people have done that right.
Does Teton use ambassadors?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. It seems like that's another big thing that outdoor brands do more than any other channel. Is they really, it's really all about like the ideal user, getting them engaged, getting them to be actual advocates of the product.
Yeah.
That gets you further with the retail stores, and then also for the customers, because they're Googling a lot of these type of things, right? You're not a grocery product where people are going in and they see a new product and all you have to do is create some beautiful imagery or whatever, and somebody might test it out. Yours is a higher price point, and they want to make sure they can rely on the gear if they're going to be back in the backcountry for 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
So they're more education based, so they lean more on the ambassador side. So tell me about some of the experiences you've had with ambassadors. Who's been a good one for you?
Retail Collective would not exist without our sponsors like Baker Tilly, Luminous, Minky, and Creatively. Join us at Retail Collective on September 10th, 2025 in Salt Lake City. We're now accepting applications. We invite you to connect with industry leaders and expand your reach. Contact Jeremy Brockbank by emailing jeremy.brockbank@retailcollective.org or visit us at retailcollective.org for more details. Subscribe to stay updated on our latest events and opportunities.
The philosophy behind both ambassadors and social media that I love is this third-party validation. If you can get a third party validating what you do,
They trust it.
they trust it so much more
Yeah.
than if
That's
you're
right.
trying to validate yourself. Now, direct media is, direct advertising and direct validation is important enough, right? It's just that third-party validation that comes from reviews online, from social media, and from ambassadors is huge.
Well, ambassadors are particularly really well trusted. I think, like, if you look at influencers, there's been a big divide on influencers recently. Anytime, like earlier, 5 years ago, if you had 1 million followers, the influencer will peddle any sort of product. And now they started realizing, well, there's influencers that are only peddling good products, and those are the ones that actually get sell-through for the brands. And then there's the influencers that will just kind of, it's all about kind of more of a money grab for them.
Yeah.
And those ones have really kind of faded off, and the brands have said, okay, well, we're just going to do, a percentage of sales if you do it for us. But ambassadors have always been trusted really well, because typically they're experts in that field, and so they're actually using the gear.
Yeah.
And having somebody, if a great ambassador is validating Teton, then it's kind of like we just talked about, the end consumer automatically is thinking, okay, that's actually a real review, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is like the day and age of like Amazon reviews. You don't know how much of them are fake or how much of them are families, but if you were to rank influencers and reviews and ambassadors in the outdoor channel are premier.
They're pretty critical. I mean, reviews are too,
Yeah.
if you get to a certain quantity.
That's right.
Because once you get that certain quantity, people are like, okay, I can trust that now, because you're into the thousands.
Thousands, yeah.
You don't have 1,000 siblings.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah. If it's 17, you're like, those are employees.
Right,
Yeah.
right. No, and Jeremy, who I spoke of earlier, is really ramping up our ambassador game.
Really cool.
I wouldn't, if I were to give us a grade right now, I'd probably be in the high C, C plus, B minus range.
Yeah.
We can do a lot better.
Yeah. On the ambassador side.
And I think in the next several months, you'll see us getting closer to that A.
Yeah, I saw you back at Outdoor Retailer a couple months ago.
Yeah.
You glad it's back in Salt Lake?
Yeah.
Makes
yeah,
it a little
that-
easier than going out to Denver.
Yeah, I would love to hear your thoughts on Outdoor Retailer, actually.
Oh, it's interesting.
I don't know if we want to go there.
Yeah,
but-
let's do
Do
it.
you want to go there? You know, it should have never left.
Yeah.
Yeah,
know,
it seemed like it damaged it quite a bit.
It totally damaged it, and it was so political. And I'm really close with Governor Herbert, and so we've talked about this, and he's given me a play-by-play of what happened. It was one of their bigger exhibitors.
From Emerald Expo
Yeah,
owned
yeah.
it, and this was a big show for them. It's the
Big
biggest one
show.
in the United States for the Trade Channel.
They had an exhibitor brand everyone would recognize.
Yep.
I'll mouth it.
Yeah.
I know who it is.
Oh, I know a few of them.
You know who it is. Okay. Anyway, they
sided
were,
with those 3 or 4.
Well, they were these brands. It was the tail wagging the dog,
That's right.
and they were such big brands. They kind of bullied the trade show, and said, "Hey, we don't like the stance that Governor Herbert is taking on these public lands,
That's right.
and so let's get him to change his stance." Well, his stance was correct.
Yeah.
He's not going to do the wrong thing.
Yeah, he's a
for
governor of
money.
a state, for crying
Yeah,
out loud.
and he was such a good guy.
Yeah.
And so they left and went to Denver, and they signed a 5-year contract. Well, guess who never exhibited in Denver?
The same people.
The same bullies that told him to leave in the first place. They never exhibited.
Isn't that interesting?
So it just destroyed the show.
Well, it was interesting. Like I went there a couple months ago, and I was driving up to it, and I've been going to that show for 15 years, and I was actually worried. I was like, do I have the day wrong? Because there was nobody like walking in, and so I went down to park, and there's only like a third of the parking spots are full,
Yeah.
and then I walked in. I'm like, wait a minute, there's no outdoor exhibitor tents. It used to have overflows in
Yeah.
the Delta Center.
Yeah.
It used to have the ballroom was being used, the hallways, and there was nothing. And I think, and a lot of it happened because of, the pandemic, and brands don't have the same amount of money and other things. But they were specifically hit hard because they lost a lot of the right-leaning brands that said, well,
Yeah.
what about us, right?
Yeah, there's still trade shows that are doing well. So
Yeah. What are some of your other ones you go to?
Well, we don't exhibit at any others. We might start to. My philosophy is date before marriage.
Yeah.
And if we're going to get into trade shows, which we started to do 2 years ago, I want to see the success of that trade show.
Yeah.
And it looks like so far the numbers are coming back that's pretty good. So we might end up doing like a SHOT Show that happens in Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
Some of these buying groups like NBS and
Oh, yeah.
Sports Inc., those types of shows.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe an international show, SPOGA, or whatever the names are.
ISPO, Free
ISPO.
Coffin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're not huge because we're still in the dating phase.
You had a big presence at this outdoor retailer. You're one of the bigger brands, for sure, one of the biggest.
Yeah, the pond shrunk,
Yeah, it did.
which made us a bigger brand.
It did, yeah.
We got a lot of attention at the show. It's shocking because I'm with you. I used to go to the show just as an attendant. I just walk,
Yeah.
and it was so busy, so packed.
Used to be amazing.
Yeah, and so we've only exhibited at this show. It came off my to-don't list once I had the right hire.
Yeah.
And 2 years ago we did the first show, and then this last few months ago did the second,
Yeah.
and the second one was better than the first. Got a lot of traction,
Well,
a lot of interest in this line.
Well, I'm
Adventure
really
shovel.
hoping that people kind of learn to keep politics out of things, because that the show would have done better, and I feel like it unnecessarily pushed away half of their audience, right?
Yeah,
And it didn't need to do that.
yeah,
And I'm us, obviously, and the reason why we did Volcanic is we're a big advocate of let all political viewpoints be on a platform. And, I think you just saw this from Zuckerberg a couple days ago.
yeah,
He now apologized for
yeah,
what he was doing with COVID from,
Yeah.
getting talking points from the left. And at some point you just have to, I think you're starting to see Jack Dorsey change his opinion. Now Zuckerberg changed his opinion. I think Musk has sent a really good example of, look, everyone can have their own opinions. You don't have to de-platform people, which is basically what Outdoor Retailer was doing to the state of Utah.
Yeah.
We're going to de-platform you. You know, we don't agree with your Bears ear stuff, and we're taking it. We're leaving, and basically it put a big black eye on them for quite a while.
The pendulum swung too far.
It did.
It swung too far, and now it seems like it's coming back a little bit.
Yeah, it definitely does.
Yep.
So
Well, that's good to hear because I used to love going to Outdoor Retailer.
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah.
And I would love to see it return to its
Yeah.
full glory.
Yeah,
So
that's exactly right. It's one of the funnest shows to do in the country. I mean, just they used to have great outdoor exhibitions and stuff like that with paddle boarders, and everything they did was so cool. Slack lines.
And it would take you 2 days.
It'd take a long time to get through it.
If you walked the show all day long, it would take you 2 days to see every booth.
Yeah.
And now you can do it in a couple hours.
Yeah. It's a great industry. The outdoor is just a fascinating industry. But you're right. It was the problem is, again, it's on the political side because you've got really left-leaning stores like REI, and they have really right-leaning hook and bullet ones like Cabela's and Bass Pro and Sportsman's Warehouse.
They don't get along too well, do they?
No, they don't. They're totally different audiences.
Yeah.
But you just wish like everyone in America can like get back to being normal, to just being okay with people with having differing political opinions, without trying to destroy the other person's business. Yeah, it didn't work too well.
Yeah, one thing about the outdoor industry that I really love is that it has such a long life cycle. I don't see it ever ending.
Yeah,
like tech, right? If your tech, things are changing so fast, but the outdoor industry, people are going to always get outdoors.
They are.
And so as long as you're innovating your product so it doesn't get stale, it just has legs forever.
And it's interesting how it's kind of emerging in other countries. I was recently over in Korea, and over the last 10 years, there's been a big change because people used to work 6 days a week, and now all of a sudden they're down to 5 days a week having to work. And so outdoors kind of exploded in Korea because now they're looking for actual recreation. They've moved up on that Maslow's hierarchy of needs a little bit.
Yeah.
And and it's interesting how camping takes a different face between different countries. Like in Europe, it's a lot of back of the car hitch camping, right? You're right next to your car and you're around a group. In the United States, we kind of romanticize not being able to see anything, getting away from the skylines and everything else. I remember talking to REI Innovations team, which is just really kind and really, gracious on telling us some of the white spaces in the industry. And they're notating that, look, a lot of brands for probably too long have kind of romanticized the full outdoor experience where you have to be 4,000 miles away from anything. But the reality is their emerging customer were people that were weekend warriors, right? That lived in suburbia, in urban areas that just wanted to go up to the mountains that was 20 minutes away for the weekend. And that's kind of where their big growth segment's been.
That's our clientele.
Those people too.
Can I say something about that? We recently hosted a outdoor roundtable for Utah business. Jeremy McLaren was there, your VP of marketing. Yeah. And one of the big notes there, they brought up some data that said there are more people recreating than ever, but they're spending a shorter time doing it.
That's right.
So it's these people, hopefully, the big conversation in the outdoor industry right now is how can we get more people outside recreating that haven't ever been there before. And we are seeing that. People
go for a day
more
or two
casual,
hobbyists,
weekend warriors, getting out there doing it, which I think is awesome.
Yeah. That really is our clientele. If you're hardcore in the outdoors and every last ounce matters, those people are going to be served by the Ospreys of the world.
Yeah,
right.
That's right.
But then there's a huge mass that aspire to be that, but aren't there yet.
That's right.
And so we make product for those people that
the rest of us have jobs. We don't have like 2 weeks in Patagonia.
We're not professional sponsored climbers.
Yeah, and our stuff is extremely affordable for what you get. One of the things that has allowed us to get really good ratings online is that my philosophy is so much of life is about expectations, right? And if you exceed somebody's expectation, they're going to give you a high ranking. This is 101.
Yeah.
And the opposite's also true. And so we always try to make them, when they get the product, have an experience that's like, oh my gosh, and it has this too.
It tips them right over the edge.
Right. Or oh my word, I got all this for that.
Yeah.
And it does that trick. It satisfies or surpasses their expectation, and that's what
That pushes them over the edge to give the good review.
that's what leads to the 5 stars.
Tell me a little bit about your other business with working in the Middle East.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll tell you the origin story.
Okay.
This gentleman from Saudi Arabia, his name is Abdurrahman.
Mm-hmm.
He is a fighter pilot and trained with the U.S. military, but he's part of the Royal Air Force in Saudi Arabia. He retired from the Air Force, and he's very outdoorsy. And he came to the Outdoor Retailer Trade Show because it was a big show to come to a decade ago. And he came a day early, went into a Sportsman's Warehouse. And if you go into a Sportsman's Warehouse, you'll see Teton everywhere.
Yeah.
And he did. And so he got on Facebook, and he DM'd us on Facebook. And by the time he left the store, he had a response from our social media guy. And anyway, that was a start of a really good relationship. He has a bunch of kids. I have a bunch of kids. I think at the time I had 7. I've got 8 now, but I had 7. He had 7 kids. We just had so much in common.
Yeah.
We'd talk politics. We'd talk religion. And one of the naive questions I asked him was, so tell me about camping in Saudi Arabia. Really?
Yeah. Does anyone do it?
Is that really a
Is
thing?
it really hot? Yeah.
I was thinking, I'm like, it's sand and hot. What?
Yeah.
Really? And he looked at me. He actually put his hand on my shoulder. And he said, "Oh, young man, we have so much to learn."
Yeah.
You
It's
know,
actually a big deal.
It's a huge deal over there.
Yeah.
He's like, you do know that before we discovered oil, all we did was camp.
That was our life.
That's all we did. It's in our DNA. We were nomadic. So nowadays, we can't wait for the weekend to get out of the city and go camping.
Wow.
So it was shocking how much business we did in Saudi Arabia, of all places.
Incredible.
So this friendship has lasted, of course, and I have seen through him so much change in that part of the Middle East, specifically Saudi Arabia.
Wow.
Westernizing, right?
That's
I
right.
mean, they still got virtually a dictator in Mohammed bin Salman, but he's Westernizing, right?
Yeah.
And
Now you have Dubai back there doing the same thing.
Dubai's been Westernized for a long time,
Yep.
but Saudi Arabia in particular, the biggest GDP in the region.
Yep.
You know, these little things that we are like take for granted. Women can drive. I'm like, of course they can.
Yeah.
But there they couldn't.
It's news there. Yeah.
It's huge over there. Those sort of things are what I mean when I say Westernizing.
Yeah.
And the rapid change over there and the amount of money they have in Saudi Arabia is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
But what they don't have is selection. They got the high-end Gucci stuff, and they got the low-end
China stuff.
But this middle stuff that we're so good at in the U.S.,
Yep.
we have so much selection in the U.S. You go anywhere, you can buy anything.
And they're starving for it.
They're starving for it. And so they would try to shop on Amazon. Amazon, of course, or in the earlier days, wouldn't ship to Saudi Arabia. So then they would take a shortcut, and they would get a U.S. address. They'd find someone with a U.S. address or some business with a U.S. address, which they could then use to shop on Amazon or Walmart.com or whatever. They'd have that stuff shipped to that address and then consolidated and shipped over to Saudi Arabia.
Wow.
So they're waiting a month, or longer for their product. The opportunity to put product actually on the shelves is huge. And so we started a business called MENA Group. MENA stands for Middle East, North Africa. There's 19 countries over there 19 countries over there that we service.
Wow.
We have warehousing in Dubai and in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. We have employees in both places, and we just service that market. And initially it started out taking U.S. brands into that market. Now it's global brands that we're taking into that market. But we're just satisfying
It's
that
really cool.
intense need/want.
So what type of brands are you looking for?
Well, Teton was the first.
Yeah.
Blackstone is a great brand up in Logan. I had a relationship with them, so we got them on early. One of the things in the early days that we struggled with was credibility, because it was a concept. And so I would get the gatekeepers when I'd approach certain brands in the U.S. I'd get the gatekeeper.
Yeah.
Part of it is because when people think international growth, if you're a U.S. brand, Canada is top of list, right?
Oh yeah.
Europe is on the list. Australia's on the list. South America's on the list. I should say Latin America's on the list. Even Asia's on the list. And see, I've just filled up my one hand, all 5 fingers, right, with what I just mentioned.
Oh, yeah.
You have to get to the second set of fingers to get to the Middle East.
Oh, I know.
They just don't think it. So I was getting stuck at the gatekeeper. And when Governor Herbert decided to retire as governor,
Oh yeah.
I'm family friends. His son-in-law is a good friend of mine, and hooked us up. And
They have their own good brands.
yeah, and he hooked us up, and I pitched the idea to Governor Herbert if he wanted to come on as a partner.
That
And
is
he's been
awesome.
really instrumental in the early days, especially giving us the credibility. Because when I would get stopped at the gatekeeper, he'd go
Go
right
right through
past
it.
the gatekeeper to the CEO.
Yeah, that's
right?
awesome.
Governor Herbert's calling.
Nice person to put in your back pocket.
Yeah, so we got some other brands on board. One called GCI, one called GSI.
Oh yeah, GSI.
We've had some that have come on board, and then when we've decided we have this criteria that have to be met. So right now we're in the sports categories, and we're in the category, and we're in the outdoor category.
Oh.
We're on the verge of acquiring another distributor over there that's twice our size. They have the Traeger brand.
Oh, awesome.
You were just talking to
Yep, Jeremy
Andrus at Traeger. They have Skull Candy, Jeremy's former brand,
Yep.
and several others. One called Ultra Human, which is a ring, like an Aura ring type competitor. Several other brands that if we acquire this company, it'll triple our size.
Wow.
Anyway, so one thing I have learned is that in order for us to be successful in a category, we have to have a category expert as an employee over there.
Yeah.
So we have an expert on the sports side. Camelback is a brand, huge for us over
yeah.
there. And we have an outdoor specialist. If we acquire this brand that I was just telling you about, this other distributor will also now be in the consumer electronics industry because of Skull Candy.
Really cool.
And they have distribution in all the duty-free shops in all the airports, which is the largest retailer in the region. These duty-free shops.
So if there's brands out there that feel like they could be a good fit for you, how would they contact the MENA Group?
The best way to do it, our website is menagroup.us.
Okay.
You can email me, or probably the better one, since I'm not so good at email.
Yeah.
I've decided. It's a personal decision. BizDev, BIZDEV at menagroup.us. Right now, again, we're strict in who we represent over there.
That's right.
Because it's got to be in a category that we have expertise in.
That's right.
But if you think about the opportunity for growth over there, it's huge. It could go nutraceutical, medical device.
That's really cool.
Green energy. You think, why green energy over there? Well, because they have a push for green energy, even though they have unlimited oil. They have a real push for green energy. So it's just a matter of time before I believe that business is just enormous.
So I've got a final question for both of you as we're at the end of the time. Where is your favorite place to camp?
Besides my backyard, Jeremy?
Yeah, besides your backyard. What do you like?
That's
What do
definitely
you
the
like,
most
Scott?
comfortable.
I'm a homer. I love AF Canyon.
Yeah.
I'm up that canyon. I used to be more because I'm getting to the point where I get a little nervous. I love to road bike.
Oh yeah.
And so I would ride that canyon several times a week up to
No
the top
way.
and back, and sometimes do the loop and come back
Oh,
on this Murdoch
beautiful.
Trail.
It's incredible.
It is the most incredible experience.
Yeah, it is.
And
that
I'd
Alpine Loop.
I'd read books on Audible, and I'd put it on 1.5 speed and just get through so many books. But this was my morning routine. just riding my bike
That's
up that
incredible.
canyon. And so I'm a real homer for that canyon. There's so much up there, so many trails, such good camping. It's gotten crowded,
Yeah.
I will say. I don't ride my bike up very often anymore because of the traffic.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Good spots, beautiful aspens up there. I think the world's largest organism is up there, right?
It is,
with,
yeah.
with the aspen thing.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
It's all one organism, even though it's thousands and thousands of trees.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
All right, what do you got?
Okay, I was primed to answer this question. I
Okay.
had a birthday last week,
Okay.
and we went camping, my husband and I, in my favorite place, which is the eastern Sierra Nevada mountains.
Oh, really?
So up in Mammoth Lakes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh. The Lakes
Amazing.
Basin, the campsites up there are insane. You're surrounded by lakes. It's so gorgeous. We drove down to Lone Pine into the Alabama Hills. If you haven't heard of that, you have to Google it. You've got these big Joshua Tree almost looking rocks and then the huge Sierra Nevada mountains behind them. And it's just this huge playground.
Oh,
so
man.
Do you have kids?
I'm not going to gatekeep that. No, not yet.
Not yet. Okay, because that's the other thing is once you start having kids, it kind of changes the dynamic a little
It
bit.
does, yeah.
That's what I'm scared of.
Yeah, that's right.
Don't
You're going to
tell
be doing
me
a lot more
that.
backyard camping.
I'm
like me and Scott.
gonna still try to go out there, but I'm sure that's true.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I went up near the Tetons last month. We're so spoiled out west, what
Yeah.
we have. It's just, in any direction, it looks totally different. It's all stunning.
Yeah.
But
Were you on the Idaho side or the Wyoming side?
I was on the Wyoming side.
Okay.
Yeah, it was pretty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you're right. Whatever angle.
It's,
Have you
incredible.
climbed the Grand Tetons yet?
No, I'm not in that good of shape.
I would love to
I
one
haven't
day.
done it yet. And you'd think with a name like my company has,
You've got to do it.
Do
I
it.
got to do it. I got to
yeah.
do it.
Well, thank you both for coming on. It's been a real pleasure to get to know you over the last couple months and see what's going on. I've always known the brand name of Teton, but just recently got to know you. And yeah, the last thing is people wanted to get a hold and buy Teton products. Where would they go?
TetonGear.com.
Teton Deer.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you can't find it in a store or on Amazon, we have it on TetonGear.com.
And we got big hunting season coming around, and it could be
Yeah.
pretty
yeah.
perfect for it.
One of our big seasons is hunting season. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
And I think you're offering your listeners a discount code, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah. I don't know what it is. Is it Retail War Games? What? I don't know what your discount
20.
code is.
Yeah.
20.
20%. I'm
RWG
not sure what
or Retail War Games 20. Is that what it is?
I don't know for sure. You
have to wait for the
better
commercial.
edit this thing and let us know what it is.
It'll be in the middle of
That's
the
right.
conversation.
Yeah, good deal. Well, awesome. Well, thanks so much for coming on.
Yeah, you bet. Thanks for
Appreciate
having
it.
me.
Thank
Been
you.
a pleasure.
Thank you both for coming on.
In the fast paced world of retail, technology can be a transformative force reshaping the way businesses operate and consumers shop. Is your retail organization leveraging technology to its top capabilities? Evolving your technology capabilities can help enhance visibility into your business, decrease risk of increasing cybersecurity incidents, accelerate productivity with artificial intelligence, and more. Deeply immersed in the consumer products industry, Baker Tilly professionals bring customized solutions that can help you find the right technology fit. Visit bakertilly.com to learn more.